Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. In today's video, we're taking a look at the new LEGO Brickheadz set 40748 Batman 8-in-1. Really cool concept, I think, to have a Brickheadz set where you could build, 8 different variations of a character. Batman happens to be a particularly great character for that concept, given all the different variations of Batman that we have seen over the years in the comic books and TV shows and movies. As you can see from the roster of Batman models that are supported in this Brickheadz kit, quite a few interesting ones here. The two that really stuck out to me in my first look through the roster were the Bronze Age Batman and the Batman Classic TV series. I thought that those two characters were the most sort of visually interesting and distinct from other Batman Brickheadz that we have seen in the past. But, overall, as a big fan of the Brickheadz and of Batman, really, I would like to end up building all 8 of the different Brickheadz options in this set. The set only contains 325 pieces, not enough to build any more than one brickhead at a time for each box that you open up. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the parts in a moment, but I think it's a little unfortunate how restrictive they are here with some of the pieces, to push you to buy more copies of this set. I also think it's unfortunate that on the LEGO website, there's actually a limit of 2 that you can order for this set when, I'm sure there's a number of people that would be interested in buying, if not 8 copies, at least 4 or 5 copies so that they could try to, with relative ease, build all of the characters. So, I think a little unfortunate for a set like this that seems like it's geared towards having people purchase multiple copies. It seems strange to make it hard to order multiple copies or pick up multiple copies. I picked up these 2 at the store, and I have another 2 coming from the online store. So I'm going to try to make do with 4 copies and see if I can just get the extra pieces that I need to finish the entire 8. But let's take a look at the first 4 that we built, and we'll talk a bit about some of the pieces that are in high demand for these particular Brickheadz. So, as you know, I've put together 4 of the Brickheadz so far. That's from 2 boxes plus a number of my own parts in my collection. Was happy to manage to get that far. I think I could probably get maybe another 1 built with what I've got sort of easily accessible. I'm going to wait for the remaining 2 boxes to come though, and then I will also order some parts on Bricklink to see if I can manage to fairly quickly and easily move through the remaining Brickheadz. As I mentioned, the first 2 that I really wanted to build were the Bronze Age Batman and the Batman Classic TV series. The other 2 I built in this first batch. We've got Batman versus Superman and the LEGO movie Batman. As you can see, I really went for the more diverse and different looking versions of the Batman. I figured that was the best way to try to sort of maximize what was available in the box. Use different colors and different shapes and styles of pieces that were unique to each of them, which would then require me to find hopefully the minimum number of parts in my own collection to fill out anything that was missing on the interior. Taking a closer look here, you can see some of the things that differ from Batman to Batman. We've got different shapes of eyes, the glow-in-the-dark eyes here, the sort of flat-bottomed eyes here. We've got these square blue transparent with the white squares over the top. So that's one way that they're doing some interesting differentiation between the different ones, and it actually works pretty well to see the different eyes there. I do think the glow-in-the-dark ones are really cool, and looking forward to when these go up on our Brickheadz wall, seeing the glow-in-the-dark eyes when I'm coming down into the Lego room. I think will be fun there. Other differences, you can see the different utility belts and the different printed pieces for the tiles on the chest with the different emblems there. You know, pretty impressive what they've managed to do with those different emblems and the different belts. Really nice across these four, and you can see from the image here some of the other variations that you get across the other four versions of the Batman Brickheadz. One thing with these tile or brick pieces here that have the printed emblem on them that allows LEGO to push for at least a couple boxes that you'll buy of this particular set is the fact that you can see here we've got a brick. It's got the one emblem on that side, and it's got one of the other emblems on the other side. So right away, that forces you to buy 2 copies of this set so that you can get at least 2 of these printed bricks. That doesn't bother me too much. You know, it probably allowed them some, to save some costs when they were putting this set together. But that's one way in which you're forced to buy multiple versions of the set so that you can get all of the different emblem pieces that you need for all of the Brickheadz. Another area that they use for differentiating the different versions of Batman, you can see the ears on the cowl, how they are fairly significantly different, or at least in how they're different in how they're constructed, which I think is a nice touch. Does, sort of really line up with what the characters actually look like, and another interesting tidbit for making these each look different from each other. The capes, there are some differences. They don't stand out quite as significantly to me. You can see some of them have this rippling at the bottom here. Some of them have the couple studs that are sticking out on the side, whereas others are more smooth and flat. So more subtle differences. You're not going to see the back very often, but I do appreciate the differences that have gone into these beyond just the color and the emblems to make these characters stand out from each other. You can also see on the Batman versus Superman, some different sort of utility items there. All of them are using the Batarang so far, but this guy's also got the grappling hook there, which I think is a nice touch. So, pretty happy overall with how they've represented the characters and what they've done to achieve sort of unique shapes and looks to all 8 of the Batman. In terms of parts, like I mentioned, there's those printed pieces for the chest area. The other part that is in real high demand across these Brickheadz is this piece right here. You need a lot of these per character, and fortunately, I've got a number of these in my collection that were just sitting on my parts wall. So I just went and was able to dip into that to put together the additional the additional 2 brickheads that, I didn't have a box for, quote unquote, just using the leftover pieces from the original 2 I built, and then just adding in parts from my collection. So that was a big part that they needed. Other parts, I needed some 2x2 bricks to stick into the interior in a few places. We needed several of these cylindrical 2x2 parts. There's also a few of these circular plates, 2x2, that we needed a few extras of for those extra 2. We also needed extra plates to stick the figures on. So there's only the 2, like 1 plate basically per brickhead box, and it's nice to have this for display purposes. So I managed to come up with an additional 2 for those brickheads there. Other things of note, the flesh colored pieces. These are something that is in short supply in the set. So that 1x4 tile and then the 1x4 plate do pop up again in other ones. So that was something I had to track down myself. A number of parts, and I think if I started to go into the remaining 4 right now, the things that I would, in addition to those parts, I'm probably going to find that I'm short on some of the black pieces, some of the tiles there, and potentially some of the plate pieces that are required. So, the set is really constrained in terms of what it's giving you. They are hoping that you'll pick up multiple copies, and like I said, really to build 8 of them, if you're not going to dip into parts that you have in your own collection or order things on Bricklink, you do need 8 boxes. You will end up with a lot of extra pieces, but 8 boxes will give you, all the bases that you need, all of these studs on the side, pieces that you need. There's several things in there that are core to each brickhead that don't appear in enough quantity to build more than 1 from a box. So, like I said, it doesn't ultimately bother me. I'm happy that I'm able to pull from a number of bricks that I have here to kind of get around that, and I will order some parts on Bricklink to help with that. The big disappointment, I guess, for me is just that they made it so hard to pick up multiple copies. I really think the limit on the website for ordering should be a lot more than 2. I would think at least 4, but really 8, because you're pushing people to buy multiples of these. Don't make it any harder than it needs to be. So, those are the big takeaways. I guess the other thing of note, in the box, the instructions that are included are only for the Bronze Age Batman. You need to go online to the LEGO app to find instructions for all of the remaining Batman models, so the other 7. I thought that was a little disappointing. It was easy enough to do on my phone, but I'm always of the opinion that it's really nice to have the printed version of the instructions. Makes it a lot easier to just build these anywhere, anytime. You don't need to worry about having an internet connection or your phone handy. But, ultimately not a huge deal. For me, I used my phone to go through and do the, look at the instructions for building these. And, it worked out fine. Just one of those flexibility things that I think is nice to have, with the printed instructions. Now, overall, overwhelmingly like the set. I'm a big fan of Brickheadz, huge fan of Batman. I think they've done an excellent job here of coming up with 8 unique, interesting brickheads based on all the different Batman characters that we've seen over the years. So, really happy with these. They're going to look great on display here in the Lego room. And, I think it's a cool concept. Like I said, the slight negatives, I wish they'd made it easier to buy, multiple copies of this set so that you can easily build all the different ones that you want. And, like I said, for flexibility and ease of use, it would be nice to be able to have printed instructions as well. But both of those are minor quibbles. Still really happy with this, and I will be building those remaining 4 models. So keep an eye out on the channel. I'll post a video once the remaining 4 have been built. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.